Now, this is the second slide on this thing is I consider myself charity is somewhat a moral obligation. Although it's not legalized, it's voluntarily you give it. The reason, again, I just want to quickly point out certain things because we are all cousins. I justify this statement for for these reasons. We share the same heritage. We all come from the same place in Africa. We all have the genes. 99.99% of our genes way. We should behave that way. We should help each other. And it is very clear, you can see the COVID as such threatened everybody. It's not like one region, one country, one religion, one culture, one belief. It threatens everybody. So that's how the idea of the cousinhood comes from. And the reason you see, if anybody you see as your cousin, you tend to look differently. You tend to understand them. Why is this person this way? If they are different, maybe that's okay with us. So many concepts come about it. I mean, there's something that I can talk longer, but I just want to cover most of the material. We also know that individual can only thrive if humanity is protected. That's very explicit right now. That's where we are with the battling with the COVID. If we do not, as a humanity, win over, everybody is affected. Everybody is, suffer from this, and we are right now. And I do believe, by the way, talking about COVID, let me tell you that for what I have reviewed, we will be okay, but it's not perfectly okay in the sense that I do believe that we will have vaccine by the end of the year, perhaps early next year. It may take a few more months for people to accept it, take it, and some people may not take it. But overall, I think it might be another year to get over some of the illness as well as stigma of the illness, and to get over the normalcy would never be the same as what it was, but it will be a new normal will establish. That's my perspective, and each of you can have however you think about it. And also, I just want to let you know, moral obligation, charity is an obligation because we have received everything from our previous generations. I mean, virtually anything that we enjoy today, whether it is electric bulb or perhaps a computer or a cell phone or lifestyles or roads, libraries, national forests, everything is done by our ancestors in different ways, whether it is science, technology, growth and development, politics, freedom, equality, everything was somebody did something to get that for us to what we enjoy. So likewise, we are also destined to develop this further and give it to future generations. So that's a moral obligation. That also, I just want to uh, bring one point to everybody's mind. I know we're not all millionaires here, but just want to give you an idea. If people who have a big family estates, even this is an appeal for those who own big estates, big family estates, if they give it to their children, their own immediate children, typically there is what is called an assessment and fact finding that it is called riches to rags in 3 generations. Most of what you can give it to your family goes away, 90% goes away in 3 generations. And the subsequent generations of your heritage depend on the community wealth. So that's why I encourage people to not only giving to their children and grandchildren, but also giving to community is not, you're not wasting anything. Actually, you are giving to your own great grandchildren later in life. So either way, it's all right to get a moderation. I don't mean everybody you give away to community. That's not I'm proposing, but I just want to give you an idea what type of benefit in giving. The next is this way. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. Are the benefits of happiness? Plenty. Happiness actually itself is a benefit from charity. This is all scientifically proven in last 15 years, time and again. People are very happy if they give it to charitable, even a small. It doesn't have to be money. It may be time, volunteerism. As I said, any type of giving is giving. It improves your immunity. It makes it very strong. Your immunity gets better. You resist infections. Your pains and aches go down as well. You live longer. If you are a charitable person from young age, you live about 7 to 8 years longer. If you are an older person, even at 70, 75, you start giving, you give 2 years longer. These are all scientific studies proven once again. We also know that every giver receives in different ways. So I just want to keep moving a little bit fast space. That's all. The second concept I want to give you is the idea that the feeling free and fearless is one of my affirmations, and it really made me feel good. I do live fearless, and of course, if the situations come, fearful situations, you do fear, but you get over it as soon as you can. And the reason I just wanted to show you a series of slides is that it may not be relevant to you if you're already good, balanced, fearless person. You don't worry about nothing, then it doesn't matter to you. But anyway, let me run through slides about Socrates is the father of freedom, in my view, because he's the one who had first asked questions in the streets of Athens, all the youngsters, politicians, and for that he succumbed. He had given his life. He was given a choice to either to recant his words and go back, walk back, or drink poison to take his life. He said he would rather take poison, take his life, than give up his freedom of speech. I mean, this is a very, very powerful message, and I think that set the tone for freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of writing, whatever freedom, freedom of questioning. Now, this is the Magna. These are the landmark changes which got this freedom, and that's why I just want to show you. In the King of John was forced by nobles in England to sign a charter that states that nobody, including the king or the nobles or the landlords, nobody above the law. And that has brought a lot of good things for common man as we went along. And this is Enlightenment era. This is an era last about 17th and 18th and 19th centuries. It ran into its intellectual growth and renaissance of culture and free thought. All these things have accumulated into free press, and these ideas have spread all over the world in many different ways. Now, you all probably remember this speech, "Give me liberty or give me death," by Patrick Henry to the delegates at the Burgess, Virginia House of Burgess, appealing them to send their army for a revolutionary war at that time against England. And the Declaration of Independence, you're all very familiar with. Men are created equal, and that they are endowed with a creator to certain inalienable rights. And some among them is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. These are all very inspirational. And the final thing that I always have respected is the French Revolution. It's a bloody, brutal revolution. It wasn't peaceful at all. It wasn't ideal revolution either. But it has done one thing for sure. This is the first time common person has the civil rights. And this is the first time where the power has been transferred from a monarchy to an ordinary person, ordinary people. So from that point of view, these are all the thoughts to reflect about the history, so you get an idea what may have happened. Now, I will come to the conclusion to give you some summary of what we have been talking these days for last 5 talks. And let's conclude now with some observations and some take-home points. Building a happy life, that's our goal. And also I talked about to be happy, how to be happy at work. You remember that we talked about who do you work, and we decided that you're working for the patient care, bottom line, whether through the ultimate health. But eventually, your client, your person you are helping is your patients. That's how long your arm reaches in your service. And now coming to the just total global way of building happy life is this. First thing, phase one, we said, was to somehow set a goal to kind of keep mind less occupied, less burdened, less toxic of anything. Toxic emotions, particularly bias of any sort, even at any level in your mind, only hurts you, not the person who you are biased against, or hate, revenge, or dislike. You name anything. All those toxic emotions are not worth keeping, but at the same time, they're not easy to get rid of it. Therefore, the talks that I had given, the general ideas that I have given, historic perspective, philosophical points I have indicated, they all help you to widen up the horizons of thought and drop slowly dump the toxic emotions. And also we talked about defensive emotions like feeling defensive, anxious, worry, fear. These are to certain extent good because they raise your power of strength to fight back, to escape, or protect yourself. But going too long is bad. That's why we want you to understand, get a balance about those emotions. You don't want to get rid of them, but get a balance about them. Once you have those two are achieved, the next important thing is somehow every conflict of any sort. When I say conflict, it is a contradiction, difference of opinions, for example. It doesn't have to be a fight or a discussion or even argument. All these things should be seen as inevitable and also necessary for growth and development. So when you have an argument or a discussion with somebody next time, feel that that is okay. It's not bad after all. I mean, we shy away from it. I don't love conflict. I don't love to argue, but it's necessary. So once you have that idea, sometime you have to want to either you want to learn or the other person will learn from this, or change some things will change from that. So these are um, as unpleasant as it may be sometimes, it's necessary, whether it is at work, at home also sometimes. You have to talk with the children, perhaps spouses. These things are inevitable at certain level, at certain thing, because that's the only way people will come to recognize or realize. I mean, most of my learning happened through my painful experiences. And so now it's not so painful because I'm sensitive about these things. I listen carefully. I want to change. I want to learn from everybody. That's why it doesn't take too much for me to struggle with change. I change if I feel it's the right thing to do, change right away. So bottom line is, if you can somehow get rid of most of your inner conflicts, if you have a mind that is bothering you, confused, do or don't do, what do I do, do I repair a relationship, whatever, you must conclude that and also change. Every conflict, any argument, anything results in a change. You got to be changing on time. This is where the rub is. Most people don't want to change because that's our human nature, because we like the stability, we like security, we like sukoon, just living the way it is, don't bother me. But that's not real life. Life is changing, and it will change faster even from future. Even the COVID effects itself is demanding us change in many ways, and we did, and we are doing it. So these are the two important points. But now the second phase is actually building happiness. Just let me emphasize the fact that building happiness is definitely established. It's not like it is anymore. At one time, people weren't sure, but now we have a total scientific evidence. Now, Question is that how much happiness can you build? That's the issue. Happiness is the seek the fountain of happiness. This is another thing we discussed about it. The word seek is very important. If you are not looking to be happy, it's tough to make happiness. That's the most important. You still are happy certain ways because there is some inherited happiness. It's called ancestral, genetic, or inherited, which is about variably 50%. It doesn't mean 50% of your happiness. Within 50, it is variable. You may have a genetic happiness, maybe a 20%, 30%, 40%, but it's a variable number. It's not a fixed number. And that maintains your, it's what is called the set point happiness. And actually, that's what held the humanity through horrendous situations, calamities, disasters. I mean, anybody will try to recover from imprisonment, tortures. People come back, and what is that? Death chambers, etc. So people recover. That is inherent in our the hope and optimism, audacity is the human nature that is built into our body. That is part of it is from our inherited happiness, but we have another 50% of happiness we can generate with the tools that I have described already, and I'll be naming them, a couple of them, some of them now. But anyway, point here is that it is buildable, and if you try to do it, that's the key. Seek. If you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you work by default. Wherever you are there. That type of thing. So understand that there is a fountain of happiness. You must seek to develop that one. And that is all the activities that you can do, which we are going to enumerate, and we discussed in detail before also. All the activities that you do were scientifically proven in last 15 years. This is a new scientific recovery that you can definitely be, happiness is buildable, positivity is buildable. Now, in that context, I would just want you to remind you all that understanding the purpose of life. We talked about in detail the purpose of work, purpose of life. Basically, what you're doing is that anything that you do, you want to make yourself good life. You want to be healthy, happy, and do for your family, for your neighborhood, community. Also, whatever you are doing, no matter what you do, you're always helping community. Even if you don't give additional money, additional work, you're still doing community service already, because that's how the service goes. Whatever you do, it is, although you may be earning salary, but all the work you do is a community service. So that's point of that understanding is important, because if you feel that your service is being given to the community, it's a different feeling, and you will want to do more of it, not less of it anytime. But if you feel that, oh, I'm just working for money, it's not a great feeling, because that's not true also. The fact is neither true, nor because you work for money because you need money to survive yourself. And because you survive, you are able to do the service. So issue is money is not the primary, it's the service is the primary, money revolves around it. And likewise, let us most important thing in these tools also setting of goals. It was true when it was just a farming or perhaps hunting, gathering, you didn't need goals. But today life is very complicated, that you all know. I mean, for everything there are hundreds of choices. What meal you want to do, what school you want to go, what study you want to do, what job you want to do, where you want to live. Unless you make, the whole world is open. Unless you make certain things based on your interests, your ideas, you can't do it. That's as simple as that. Therefore, you must follow the goal setting method. Now, sorry, what did I do wrong? Okay, I think let me go. Oh, okay, good. Now, after the goal, this is the self-affirmations. In my view, they are extremely helpful. In last 30 years, this is the most powerful force in my life. Whether it is just talking about feeling great, learning every day, every way, looking for opportunities. Some of these are my affirmations. They worked very well, only based on not only the scientific evidence, based on my experiences also I included it. So that's how I feel authentic about what I talk about. Self-affirmations are extremely helpful. What they do, they are not goals. You can see that these are like powerful. This is actually horsepower. This is the goals are the body of the car. I'll show it to you in a minute. I'm going to show you the vehicle of joy. This goals form the body of the just a body. That's just your framework you make, a roadmap you make. But the affirmations are the horsepower which drives the car, which drives that body. So that's how powerful affirmations are. You can choose what you like to do, whatever is empowering to you. And the next thing is inculcate positive emotions. This is also a very important thing we discussed in detail. We said that, for example, gratitude is a great thing. How gratitude makes people feel very powerful. And empathy is also a great thing. Apology at the right time and apologizing is a great thing. Saying apology sometimes is interesting. I'm not the most sophisticated guy all my life. I've got a little sophisticated now. When I was in early practice years, one day I told one of my nurse, I went there, patient wasn't ready, medicine wasn't ready. I'm running on a minute to minute, and I went and said the nurse in charge, so where's the patient? Why are you not ready? She got very upset, and really that shook me up. And so anyway, she got, and few minutes later, she brought the patient. We did the case. While doing the case, I felt, why on earth I upset her? It's not her fault because the patient wasn't released from outpatient center for her to bring the patient here. You see, this is like a killing the messenger. I felt so bad about it. After the case, I told her, honey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. It's not you, it's nothing, it's not your fault. When I said that, she felt extremely happy and relieved. So it's very important to apologize. The reason why I said it, I mean, she may be partly responsible or not, that's not the issue here. If you hurt somebody, which you did not intend, that's the key. My criteria is very simple to say apology. If somebody misunderstood, did not understand right, for a reason that they got upset because of me, if that's not my intent, I apologize, because that's not my intent. Unnecessarily the impact is a wrong impact, but it is I'm responsible, I feel, in some ways. But it doesn't mean everybody should be that way. I mean, everybody will have different standards. Some people never apologize, some people never apologize everything. So it's just a matter of your discretion about that. Anyway, and emotions, I mean, emotions bind us. The life is about emotions. Is there anything wrong with emotions? No, just exercising them properly is most important. And indeed, we said you want to keep a thank you journal, you want to gratitude journal. These are all exercises we will have to do to actually get better and practice thanking, things like that. It's a different feeling. You will see it once you start practicing, and most of you are already doing it. I mean, I don't want to say this as something new. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you do already. You just inculcate a little bit more of it, you will feel even more positivity. If you, most of you are, I know, whoever I met there is an extremely positive group. I mean, I don't know, you can pump, but actually the thing is that even though I'm positive, I appreciate positivity from anybody all the time, reinforcing me, actually making me more positive. So that's the way I see it. Anyway, and seeking opportunities, likewise, I told you, seeking opportunities actually driving force, actual steering. You want to go wherever the opportunities are. We said that even problems are opportunities. We said that every problem has the seeds of opportunity in it. And I defended it when I talked to you all in the past. So community service we discussed, live free and fearless, we talked about it. Now we go to this vehicle of joy. So this is the vehicle of joy I'm talking about. This is total my concept I put together. What we have here is that you can see there are 4 wheels. The vehicle has 4 wheels. This is a vehicle of space. You don't control it. This is universe. It's a vehicle of time. You can't control it. Time hasn't. You have no control on the time. Vehicle of motion. You can't control too much of it because also this motion is coming from these two wheels driving the car. The only only wheel that we have to manage, maintain, and spin is this wheel of change. So you have to be sensitive about what's going around. And when these three wheels are moving, if you don't move, if you get stuck, it's big problem. Because as I told you that we have a tendency to get stuck and stay where we are comfortably. But the fact is that change is a must because all these three wheels are running and they are pushing that universe and life, and you can't get stuck here. So you change of your habits, attitudes, maybe some new directives in the company comes, or company decides a different direction. So many things, so many ways, and your managers tell you something to do. So basically, the point is change is coming in so many ways. And right now, I mean, in the last few months since the COVID hit us, you know what changes we are doing. Tremendous changes, and that's inevitable in life, where we don't do it happily, but we have to do it, whatever. So if you can learn how to ride on the crest of changes that are necessary on time, you can be happy, you can live, the vehicle will go happily at a good speed. Now, all these four wheels are tied up to a purpose of life. That's how important the purpose of life is. People should know that they are doing a good job. They're connecting everything in the universe, and the humanity is connected through your purpose of life. And that is formed with chassis, is the purpose of life. And now, as I mentioned it to you, the goals of the life are formed here. This is the body. This forms the goals of life. And then also I said, the engine is the horsepower, that is affirmations. And the opportunity seeking is steering. And these are all built one into the helping the other. And you see the hierarchy. If one is affected, the others are affected. Suppose you can't change, all are affected. Everything gets affected. You can't, you may have everything right, but if this is not, you can't move, nothing is going to help you. Like that, each one is interrelated, interconnected to each other. And this shows the relationships between different pieces. How, and likewise, if you understand the purpose, you will have rest of it a lot easier. Understanding everything, why you do, how you do, and why conflicts, how to resolve conflicts, how to look at them is different situation. So this is the not only just I'm putting together elements of happiness, but putting together elements of happiness in relationship to their importance, location, and where they fit. Let us see. Okay, I'll leave a few of the philosophical beliefs I have. These are purely my personal. You don't have to believe it. You may form your own, but it is a good idea. And these help me make my life easy in many, many ways. That's why I just put that here, just for your consideration, but you don't have to follow that too. What I'm saying is change is constant. We just talked about. This is inevitable. And although we don't like change, but we have to. We have to understand if it is coming, listen carefully. It doesn't mean everything is a correct change. Also, let me caution you. I don't mean everything comes as good and we should change as soon as we see. No, of course, you want to re-examine it. You process it, and you only want to change what is right change. But you will not be able to consider all the reasons in fairness to the situation unless you are willing to change. Because the idea about willing to change is a motivational thing. If person is not motivated to change, no matter what the circumstances are, how compelling the factors may be, they will resist the change. So it is, the question is that at a motivation level, if you can stay neutral about change, then rest of the things are okay. The spin itself, based on the merits of the change, you will take a change. So that's the thing. And the second thing, of course, this is contradictions. I said contradictions, arguments, discussions, protests. All these things are, again, unfortunately, are a part of growing up. It's like growing up pains, pains with the labor that you can't avoid to have a baby with a pain. So it's not that you love it, but you have to put up with it to expect some change. If there is no contradiction, even in the nature of science or plants or animals, everywhere this principle applies. It is the speciation, it is the differentiation between the cells and between the organs that runs the systems better and better, more efficient. So this is the universal nature, contradiction or conflict. Conflict is a stronger word. That's why you say contradictions. Contradiction means just differences, different things. And the third thing is truth. Truths are time and space bound. This is another important thing. Otherwise, the relative truths are relative. You can say in different ways. The fact is that what was one time a truth changes with time. For example, we thought planet Earth was flat, but we know it is not. And we thought that the sun is revolving around Earth. Now we know it is not. So like that, there's so many things come, even scientific facts get rectified at a later time. What was Newton's laws of gravity and universe concepts changed by Albert Einstein. So things like that. Things change, and the truth is getting discovered, purified, and things change. So just getting hold on to one thing only and not open-minded to look into the information causes pain and suffering to somebody somewhere. So that's why truth is time-bound and space-bound. So if you just have an idea that way, you are willing to examine. This is all just a consideration aspect. It's not like you have to be, grabbing everything you see. All problems resolved. This is another thing. This happened to me many times. People call me and said, "Oh, I have this problem. I am dying," and I listened to everything, and in the end I said, "Look, man, this problem shall also resolve in time." It's not that I gave a resolution to the problem, but it gives a consolation. Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, last problem's resolved. Last I had so many problems resolved. You lived through. So what it gives is it gives a compelling feeling that okay, I mean, it is trouble, it is painful, it is this, it is that, but I know it is. I'll get over it. That's important thing ultimately. That's the thing. And as I said, problems are opportunities. This is something I keenly observe and look for it anywhere. Yeah, and I explained what it meant anyway in the past. Happiness is buildable. This is a new affirmation. It is definitely buildable. There is a science to it. Now, that ends my actual official talk, but I want to say a couple more things. I'm watching the time. My website now, we have a new website. This does what it does. This is called awarenessusa.org. If you want to take a picture, please do. Please go and see what activities, what we do, what type of nonprofit in the United States we are doing and we're going to do. That's another thing I want you to see if you can, kindly. And this is a way to contact my Facebook or email me anything, either this or Joy of Awareness. Either way, it will come to any questions, comments, feel free. And if you like to donate to what is called, what we're doing, let me tell you one more time. I am picking up all the students who are economically poor, socially behind, and academically behind in the downtown Tampa Bay area, and also Pasco County. We have come, and we might come to Hernando as well. So basically, there are plenty students who could be helped with this. So what we're setting up is that an online educational program, online motivational program, and also periodic families and children get-together programs. So this is the program that it started last year, and we have now roots and connections. Now we are going big time, and any money, $5, $10, anything you can give, please donate. And if you think that this talk is any value to you, please donate that value to these kids, so they will get value to to the future generations. So that's the idea. So you can write a check to Awareness USA Inc. Or if you go on a website, there is a donate website button. You can do it either way. And the next one is that this is my Facebook address. This is LinkedIn address. And one more thing I want to mention it to you. I'm starting what is called a Joy of Life program. Actually, the talks that you have had last 5 sessions are part of that program. And I just want you to be honestly admit to you, this is the first time I conducted this program. And from this point on, now I'm ready to launch a big way. And we're going to launch that program on our website. And it's not just a talking program. I'm going to go into actual workshops, give examples, give personal counseling, and everything to raise money to that program to help the disadvantaged students. In my mind, America, we are running behind. We are rich, we're flushed with a lot of things, but one thing, we are weak. We're getting weaker. The world is going to outrun us, particularly China. That is education, particularly those disenfranchised kids, children, and the community. That's terrible. There is no reason why children within this country, as rich as we are, should be disfranchised for education, society, social values, moral values. What is going on? So I think if we don't resurrect that situation, will be in big trouble. Maybe not right away, perhaps another 50 years, 20 years, some point in time. This is what happened to biggest empires in the world. Complacency kills us. You need to respond, see the problem, fix it. That's the only way to maintain and continue the system. That's why we're committed to doing that work. Please help us any way you can. And this program is the same, will be continued. If you want to mail a check, this is the check you can mail to this address. And if you want to call us, please call on this number. And also, most importantly, I didn't write that, please either go on a website or write a letter. If you felt that there is any value in this program, please, any one of you, whoever you want, some of you, all of you, none of you, any way you like, please write some like a testimonial, some observation in presence, or perhaps maybe criticism, doesn't matter. I learn from criticism because that will help me to get better next time and do differently. Criticism never bothers you. After listening to this talk that I have given it to you, I hope you believe me when I say criticism is perfectly fine for me. So please write anything you can. I truly appreciate. I thank Nancy immensely for just a spontaneous thought about it, and she accepted it. And likewise, Derry Lou and Crystal, as well as Melissa, and all of you, Edward, etc. Like, so I can thank you enough, and I still got 5 minutes left. I'm very sorry for a delay. I'm learning technology a little bit more. And so please, any questions or comments, feel free. Anybody wants to say anything, say so. We have 5 more minutes.